Hey everyone, so this is Catfish Season 6, Episode 7, titled Yasmine and Lewis. The person who's being catfished this week is named Yasmine, and the person who's doing the catfishing is supposedly named Lewis. So the initial email that Nev and Max, and Nev is apparently back this week and going to be for a while, it looks like. So Nev and Max gets the initial email from Sandra, who is Yasmine's grandmother. Apparently, Sandra knows that Yasmine met this guy named Lewis about a year ago, but Yasmine never said anything, and the only reason why that Sandra knew was because of the fact that she noticed Yasmine was acting happier and all that stuff. So, she figured it out, basically. So, but what she didn't know was where Yasmine met him. So she snooped around and figured out Yasmine was dating a guy online, she met him. So she basically figured out she met him online. So Sandra would ask Yasmine who the guy was, but Yasmine would always dodge the questions and all that stuff. And Sandra did some more snooping and found a receipt of a money order Yasmine sent to someone, and the name on that receipt was not the name Lewis. It was a completely different name, even though Yasmine said that it was for someone named Lewis. So Nev and Max then call Sandra on Skype. And Sandra was like, well, what concerned me the most and why I emailed you guys was the money. So Sandra said that she looked up Lewis on Facebook and found a few videos on his page. She played it for Yasmine and found out that the guys in the video, his voice doesn't match what Yasmine has been talking to. But then Yasmine just completely shut down again and stopped giving any information about Lewis at all. So that's basically the whole Skype conversation. Then, because they couldn't really, get out to Oklahoma City that day, they decided to continue the investigation and then see if they could find anything that they could bring to Sandra and Yasmine the next day when they flew out to Oklahoma. So they look at the receipt, and the name on it is Rihanna. And it was at this point that we still didn't know anything about, anything we will find out later. We didn't know anything. Still, at this point, we didn't know anything because of what Yasmine would say, because she didn't say anything. So I'm sitting here thinking, girl, are you really not? So at this point, I was thinking, girl, did you really not think about what the name Rihanna on the receipt? Because okay, and it was received in Arkansas. It wasn't some other, because they never said, Sandra never said where Lewis was living, because I don't think Yasmine told her. So if Lewis is telling you one state, but it was received in another state, then that should be a huge red flag. So anyways, look up the name Rihanna on Facebook and find one in Arkansas. Then look up the phone number, and it comes up in a place. Comes up in El Dorado, Arkansas, under the name Lakeisha. Keisha seems to be a name that's going around quite a lot this season. Anyway, so they look at Lakeisha on Facebook and don't find any in Arkansas. They then see if she is friends with Rihanna, but she doesn't appear to be. And so I was thinking, well, what if Rihanna's real name is Lakeisha but goes by Rihanna? That seemed like a possibility to me, at least by this point. So the next day, after finishing the rest of what they could find, they make their way to Oklahoma City and go to Sandra and Yasmine's house. We find out that Yasmine and Lewis met in a group chat on an app, I guess on the iPhone, because she has an iPhone. It seems like everybody has a fucking iPhone. Like every person who's being catfish has an iPhone. Just saying. It seems like that's what it is. Just thought I'd throw it out there because I noticed that. I was like, everybody seems to have an iPhone. Like, and I know iPhones cost like hundreds of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds of dollars. And that was true even with generation 1 of iPhone. So it wasn't like it was just all of a sudden a new thing that there were hundreds of dollars, but it's always been hundreds of dollars, even from the first phone that was made. So I just like, and I don't know. Anyway, because all these people are young people, so it's not. And they all seem to be coming from working class backgrounds. So I'm just sitting here thinking like, how in the world do you get I don't know. It just seemed weird. Anyway, that's not the point of the whole episode. But anyway, it just seemed weird that, anyway. So they would text at the time, then they would talk on the phone all the time, and when she would try to meet up with him, God, it feels like someone's in my anyway, so when she tried to meet up with him, he would give her every excuse that he could. Then he had her with the excuse of his cousin got into a car accident, and he needed money to get gas and so he can get to the hospital. So she gave him $40. But when he needed it, when it was time to send the money, he didn't have his photo ID, and asked her to send it to his friend Rihanna. And then this was when her grandma showed her the videos of Lewis on Facebook, and Yasmine confronted him about the voices being different, and he said his name was Milo and he wasn't the guy in the pictures. So she seemed more concerned about the voices being different, and so I would have been like, well, first of all, if he's so willing to get on camera, like, and then post it on his Facebook page, why is he not willing to do this, like, get on video chat with you? Because I know iPhones have FaceTime. I'm not sure. I don't know if Lewis has an iPhone or not, but if he did, then you would be able to FaceTime. So, and even if not, then you can always download Skype onto your iPhone. So, or Skype onto your phone if you have an Android or a Windows phone. So, there's no reason to not be able to video chat at all. My first thought would have been like, well, if you are able to get on the camera and then post those videos onto your social media, you should be able to do that. Just do a regular video chat. That wouldn't be my first thought, and then a second thought would have been, well, the voices don't match. Anyway. He then sends a new picture of a different guy. So this is the second picture that he sends, saying and he said that his name was Milo. So she's like, well, after he sends new pictures, she's like, well, don't lie to me anymore, please. But, and to tell the truth. So he sends a third new picture. So this is the third picture, number 3, third picture, new picture, and the name attached to this third picture is Blue. And turns out this person is not really that attractive to Yasmine, so which is her prerogative. If she's not attracted to what this person looks like, that's her prerogative. The reason she was putting blinders on was because she was going through a lot at the time she met Lewis, and so she felt she felt like she because he would listen to her and all that, she slowly started to fall in love with him and all that, so that's why she put blinders on and all that. So and she got out of a bad relationship when she met Lewis, and there was also family issues going on at the time that she felt like she had to put on a brave front. We also find out that Blue would manipulate her into staying home from work. Literally, he would manipulate her into saying, oh, well, I'm having a bad day, I need you to stay home from work so we can comfort me. Okay. So won't me to miss a break and make some money because I'd be more than happy to help you deal with it when I get back from work, but I have to fucking go pay some bills. So what are you doing? Anyway, so Nev and Max show Sandra and Yasmine what they found out, and then they look at the photos of Milo and Blue, and then they Google image search Blue's photos, but don't find anything. So Nev then, goes outside and calls Blue and all this stuff, and Blue's like, well, I love her, but I don't want to meet her. No. If you really love her, you would want to meet her. Regardless of what state the fuck you're in, you'd want to meet her. Nah. That to me was, strike number one. Besides the fact that he, sent 3 different pictures, all claiming that they were him. That would have been strike number one. Severe strike number one was, if you claim to love me, you'd want to meet with me. Especially if I'm coming to you, and you're not spraying for anything, you'd want to meet me. Yeah. And as Nev is, talking and all that stuff about how, well, she deserves you to meet up with her and all that. She deserves an explanation, regardless if it satisfies her or not. She deserves an explanation. And in the middle of talking, Blue fucking hangs up. He hangs the fuck up. That made me so livid. I was like, yeah, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? You're literally gonna hang up on somebody who's trying to talk to you. That is so fucking childish. Who the fuck does that? It's so damn childish. And it only gets worse from here. It only gets worse. So, Eve goes back inside, tells him what happens, and Yasmine's clearly upset about that. And about how, well, he's claiming to love me, but he doesn't want to meet me. She's clearly upset about that. So, they decide to just go to Arkansas, since Blue lives in Little Rock, Arkansas, and it's not that far of a drive to go there. So, they decide to drive there, and on the way driving there, this is the next day. And while they're in the car, we find out that Blue never even said anything. Yasmine, texted him and the night before and was like trying to talk to him, but he wouldn't talk. He didn't say anything, and so she didn't get any contact with him at all. From the time Neve called and them getting into the car the next day. So, she texts Blue the next day in the car on the way to Little Rock, and Blue was like, meet me at this address. And so they go to the address, and they don't get an answer right away. They're knocking and knocking and knocking, and after like 5 minutes, he comes out, or should I say she comes out. It says her name is Kara. Come to find out, Kara told Yasmine to get the name Lewis tattooed on her body, and this is after like a talking for like a few minutes. So it was like, and Yasmine was like, well, or Kara was like, oh, well, I was saying something about how she had insecurities about herself, so that's why she gave the picture, the Lewis picture, and then the picture of Milo. And so before she gave a photo of her real self, and so Yasmine was like, so insecurities told you to tell me to get a tattoo of a name that's not even at your actual real name, which is like a valid question. And then that's when Kara gets all up in her fucking feelings and shit, and saying, oh well, I got caught up in the moment. I'm like, Yasmine rightly gets upset and says that that none of this is funny, because it seems like, in Yasmine's mind, which she explained a little bit later, is like the way that Kara was just being nonchalant about it and stuff is her thinking it's funny to just do this. That's what Yasmine was thinking. So that's why she said that. And so Carrie got all up in her feelings, like started cussing and shit, and just walked off and back into the house. I'm like, no, that really just was like, no. You don't have any right to get upset or get frustrated because you're the one who fucking lied in the first place. And like Neve points out a few minutes later, you made your bed, now you have to fucking lie in it. Like, no. You decided to fucking not only pretend that certain pictures were yours, but that say your name was something that really wasn't your name. And you did that not once, but fucking twice. So, do you have any real reason to be frustrated here? saying bad-mouthing Yasmine? Like, no, you have no right to be upset here. She did nothing wrong here. Nothing. All she did was put her trust in you, and all she did was put her trust in you, and she's not wrong for wanting to do that. I mean, while she's young, she should have just, like, been more cautious, but she's young, so I'm not gonna fault her for being young and wanting to trust people, because young people are just gonna want to trust people wholeheartedly, even if they shouldn't. So I'm not gonna fault her for that. So she literally did nothing here. No. So after Neve, talks to Kara, she's like, we're gonna talk to Yasmine for a minute alone or something, and Neve's like, well, I'm gonna tell her that you want to speak to her alone, but that's up to her. So yeah, Yasmine didn't want to, which I don't blame her for. So they leave, and while they're driving to a hotel. Yasmine calls her grandma to tell her what happened. Next day, Nev and Max talk to Yasmine and ask if she wants to see Kara again. But Yasmine feels that if she goes, she'll get guilt-tripped into staying, even though, like, staying in this friendship right now, even though she's tired of all the lies and just wants some distance in the moment. So they offer her, like, Nev offers her to, like, for them to go with her so that Kara doesn't manipulate her or anything. So once back at Kara's house, she apologizes for storming off the way she did the day before because she was frustrated. Like, you were frustrated? You're the one who was frustrated? No. Anyway, so Yasmine tells Kara that she needs to, stop talking to Kara for a while so that she can get life in order and stuff. So, what made me roll my eyes really hard was when Kara was like, "Can I slip in a kiss?" I'm like, there you go, trying to manipulate her again into give me something that she doesn't even want to fucking do. And I'm like, I was like, nah, I just wanted to punch her in the fucking throat. I was like, stop. Like, stop guilt. Like, I mean, nah. Anyway, so 2 months later, Yasmine is back in college, which I'm happy to see. I didn't know she was out of college. I thought she was in college, but anyway, so Yasmine is back in college. And after a while, she kept in touch with Kara. Then we see that Kara has moved on from Yasmine because she couldn't have feelings for Yasmine if it wasn't being reciprocated, which any person would do, in my opinion. I think any person would do that, or most people would do that. Anyway, so that's pretty much the entire episode. I mean, anyway, sorry, I watched Survivor just before I made this video, so still kind of reeling from Wednesday night's episode. If y'all watching the most recent episode of Survivor, y'all know what I mean. So kind of reeling from that. So if I seem kind of distance from this particular episode of Catfish, kind of still reeling from Survivor. I'm still kind of reeling from that. Anyway, so next week on Catfish, there's this woman being catfished, who was told one day that the guy who she's concerned about, his brother died in a car crash, and the very next day, she was told by the guy that his brother died of cancer. Very fucking suspicious. Anyway, and it looks like this guy asked her for a ring size so that he could propose to her. I don't know. That makes me think. I mean, I know I've been making this prediction for like weeks now, but it looks like because of that, because of him asking her ring size, she knows this dude. Like, she knows the dude that's like catfishing her. Like, she knows this dude, but she never viewed him as like more than a friend, and so he catfished her to see if she liked him as more than just a friend. So I know I've been saying that for weeks now, but I mean, this definitely seems like the person that is doing the catfishing knows the person that they're catfishing. So I have been making that prediction a lot lately, but seems kind of the right prediction. I don't know. I could be wrong yet again, but we'll see. Anyway, it's basically all I had this episode. I mean, it's just a standard episode where shit made me mad or upset and frustrated with the catfishing and all that stuff, but it's no more than usual. But Anyway, so, I will see you guys Monday for Rosewood. Monday for Rosewood, because that's coming on tonight, tonight. And then I think for Elementary 2 on Monday, if they have a second episode, I might do Elementary, since I skipped, since I've been doing 2 episodes for Elementary, the last few times. So, I mean, I'll still probably do, the one I didn't do last week, or this week, or whatever. Anyway, even if there isn't a new episode on Sunday. And I'll see you guys for, Catfish next week as well. Sorry, I had to think about that for a second. Bye.